Are you ready for chapter 25? I am. The next day began bright and early for Max and the 8 other contestants. After a quick breakfast featuring healthful food from all over the world, they were sent into a room filled with testing carols. Each competitor was assigned their own boxy cube and given several number 2 soft lead pencils. They also received an answer sheet with 100 rows of dots labeled A, B, C, D, and E. Kindly proceed to your assigned cubicle, said the proctor, a stern-looking Israeli woman. Max had tested cubicle C. Tissa, the biochemist from Kenya, would be next to her in D. Good luck, Max, said Tissa with a bright, friendly smile. Thanks. I think I'm going to need it. Me too. I hate tests. Or as I like to call them, the rapid and rigid regurgitation of memorized facts. Max grinned. They're also a nightmare. Yes, said Tissa. They're that too. So, said Max, trying to make small talk the way she'd seen other kids do it, your father is a millionaire? Tissa laughed. He used to be. He's now a multi-millionaire. Silence, please, said the proctor. Kindly enter your cubicles and take your seats. You will have 3 hours to complete this examination. If you need a break to use the facilities, press the button on your work table, and one of my assistants will escort you to the lavatory. Keep your eyes on your own papers at all times. Max shook her head in disbelief. How did they think any of the contestants could look at their neighbors' papers? They were penned in, separated by 6-foot walls like cattle on a freight train. She looked down at the answer sheet, which reminded her of the time she took the SAT test when she was 9, just to see if she was statistically ready for college. She got a 1580 on the test. The highest score possible was 1600. But Max had thought 2 of the SAT questions were ridiculous, so she didn't bother answering them. You may now begin your examination, announced the proctor. Max used her pencil to slice open the seal on a test booklet. She skimmed the questions. Her eyes fixated on the pattern of dots emerging on the answer sheets. They reminded her of 3-dimensional binary superlattices of magnetic nanocrystals and semiconductor quantum dots, a subject she wished she could learn more about. It would be far more interesting than spitting back facts that everybody already knew. She daydreamed about quantum mechanics for a full hour. Then her mind drifted off on another sunbeam when clouds outside the cubicle's room mirrored windows parted. When the proctor announced, 5 minutes remaining on this portion of your examination, Max scribbled an Einstein quote across the empty rows, filling the bottom half of her answer sheet. The only source of knowledge is experience. Then she added a quote of her own. I am not a fish climbing a tree. After the exam and a light lunch, Max was taken to a room for an interview. The man asking the questions looked even more serious than the lady who'd been supervising the 3-hour written test. He launched into a barrage of questions about Max's hero, Albert Einstein. Max didn't know any of them, not a single one, because all of the questions were about what Einstein did or said or theorized, and not enough about who he was. Finally, the exasperated inquisitor asked one question that Max felt like answering. Which of Einstein's concepts would you say has the biggest practical impact on your everyday life? That imagination is more important than knowledge, Max said, giving the words just enough edge to let her questioner know that she thought the whole interview had been exactly like the earlier exam. A ridiculous waste of time. That's when Carl and Isabel stepped into the room. Neither one looked very happy. Imagination is more important than knowledge, said Carl. Is that why you displayed so little knowledge on your written test and here at your interview? Are you failing on purpose, Maxine? Asked Isabel. Are you really that eager to be sent back to America? Ooh, this is trouble.